Hey, what's up? DFS Rico coming at you with my picks and insight for this League of Legends LPL and LCK 4-game slate on Wednesday, June 24th. We got ourselves a 4-game slate again. Last two slates, we've had two LPL slates, I believe. And yeah, so back to these 4-game slates, which I really like, just because it's not a lot of tying with people. Like yesterday night, I got first place. I tied with first place for the 3-entry max, 4K, the Trident slot. I don't think it was 4K. I think it was like 3K, I think it was. But I ended up tying with 23 people. So we all ended up splitting. I don't know how much it was, but we ended up getting $50 each. Or $43. I got 53 because my other two lineups also cashed. So $43, which isn't bad. I mean, but it's just kind of lame. I tied with first and then ended up splitting with so many people. But that's the game. I mean, just as long as, you can't go broke making a profit. So that's what I like. Ain't complaining. But yeah, I went 2-0 on my picks. Picked LGD to win, to pull off the upset. And then obviously JD Gaming. And I did mention JD Gaming would be the top scoring, which I do expect usually from the teams that win 2-0 are usually the teams that end up having like the best scores. I feel like most of the time. I mean, you'll have some games where it's a complete shootout, like where it could go 2-1 and it'll just be a shootout and both teams end up playing very well. Getting you a ton of points. But I feel when it's like a 2-0 blowout, it's a little more guaranteed, a little more secure at least, which I do have today. So for my picks, 30 and 12 on my picks for this season so far, which isn't too bad. I like that actually. And today I feel like I'm taking a different approach. I'm going with the pick, obviously my gut today, which I usually do. I try to look at facts and details and then go from there. And I have a gut today, and I'll go through that in a bit. But before I get into it, if you could like, comment, subscribe, I really do appreciate it. Got nice people like commenting on the videos. I really appreciate that. I get back to you guys when I can. I'll give you my insight, try to give you both sides of the game, so I'm not just feeding you my gut and what I believe is going to happen, because everybody has their own opinions, and always go with your gut is the key that I learned from losing plenty of times and then winning plenty of times. All right, so like I said, we got a 4-game slate. We got in the LPL, we got OMG versus LNG Esports. OMG slight underdogs in that one. Both teams have been decent. LNG, this is a team that's beat some good teams. They 2-1'd FPX earlier in the split, where they were like 3,000 underdogs, which is insane. And they ended up pulling off the upset. And then the week after that, the match after that, they play RNG and they 2-0 them. And if you guys don't know, RNG's been playing really good and FPX has been playing good. And then they come back and then get 0-2 against E-Star, which E-Star is an underperforming team. So I try not to take too much away from that, but it's kind of like they've actually won their 2 matches they were supposed to lose and then lost the 2 matches they were supposed to win. They're supposed to win tonight, so that's not the only reason, but I am taking OMG in this matchup. I like what they've showed me the last 2 matches. OMG's played solid against Top Esports. They could have almost won. They played good game 1, lost, and then they won game 2, and then game 3 they ended up pulling they just kind of got blown out. Knight and Jackie Love just schooled them. But yeah, so I do like OMG in that matchup. I'll give you a couple more reasons when I get into game-by-game breakdowns. And then Billy Gaming and Top Esports. Top Esports is my favorite play on the day, which will be probably everybody's favorite play on the day. I do think they will be the highest scoring team in the slate. So I recommend maybe playing at least 3 minimum, 4 for sure. Like 4 minimum, 3 minimum, 4 at the most, obviously. But I like playing them as a 4-man stack today and filling in these teams today. So that's kind of where I'm going with that. I won't speak too much on that game because we all know what Top Esports can do. So up next, we got Team Dynamics and APK Prince in a really close matchup. Can go either way. I'll get into my notes with that as well, but as of right now, I am leaning with Team Dynamics. I do think they'll pull out. They're the cheaper team on DraftKings. For the odds being that close, I do like them. And then KT Rolster and Hanwha Life Esports. I am actually picking the underdog in that one too, HLE against KT. KT's been underperforming. They've lost their first 2 matches. They played Gen G last match, so they played a top 3 team, which I don't blame them. They played solid, but they're still juggling their lineups up, and I don't really like that. Same with HLE. They're both juggling their lineups. This matchup is kind of going to be like an AD carry, funneling everything towards them and see how they go from there. That's kind of the way they both play. So yeah, that's kind of it on that. So if you notice, I'm picking 3 of the underdogs. Well, Dynamics is kind of there. Underdogs as far as DraftKings. So, and I'm stacking them around top esports. I'm probably gonna build a couple lineups and just stacking around top esports is the way I'm probably gonna go. Which actually benefits me because I'm able to fit the 80 carry or a mid laner in the captain spot. So going over to Kenzie, he has the lineups for the LPL. Like, if you guys don't know, the LCK lineups for the first game won't come out about an hour before the game starts, and then the other matchup will come out about an hour before their match starts, but by then the lineups are locked. So I always try to stay away from that last game unless you really know the lineups, unless you know it's a secure team like Genji, DRX, and like T1. You kind of know who's going to start for them. And Damwon Gaming. Those are probably the 4 teams in the LCK I don't mind playing later. But yeah, so here are the starting lineups. I'm trying to see why it's not showing me. Oh, I'll just let you guys know. I don't know why it's not showing the bottom guys. But same lineups for OMG and LNG. They're sticking with the same thing they've been playing for the whole season. Go over to BLG, same thing, other than BLG swapped out their top laner. Kingen is the top laner, which I am going to love 369 in this matchup. I expect him to feed off that top lane with Karsa in the jungle, Knight, Jackie Love, and Yu Yunji. I just love this top esports. They're just so good. They seem to have no weaknesses right now. If I was to name one weakness on them, it's probably their ward control. They don't ward that much, but which can punish you against the better teams, against the least skill team, the lower skill teams. I don't expect it much, but yeah. So that's it with that one. Those are the lineups, like the LCK. I don't know their lineups. Obviously, nobody does, and we won't know till later. But for Team Dynamics versus SP, I'm kind of going to go through I got a couple notes that I liked about the matchup that I thought stood out for me for sure. So, one thing I noticed was like the KDAs for Team Dynamics. They're at 1.02 KDA and SP's at 0.89. SP has actually 26 more deaths in the same amount of games as Team Dynamics. So Dynamics does play a little cleaner in my opinion. They play a little slower. And SP's kind of out there. They play aggressive and they either win or they lose. That's kind of how the way they've been playing. Because if you look at Mickey, their mid laner for SP, the mid laner, Mickey, leads the LCK in kills and deaths as far as mid laners, which is kind of crazy. He does play super aggressive. That's why I kind of like playing Kuzan in this matchup. I felt Kuzan could just slow the game down, kind of punish him for trying to be super aggressive is kind of the way I'm hoping it plays out. And then pairing him up with Beyond in the jungle is something that you could look at, because usually the jungler spends a lot of time in the mid lane trying to get that advantage in the bottom lane, and that's something they've been doing. Kuzan has 86% kill participation, which is the highest in the LCK for anybody. So that's insane for someone that's played at least more than one game at least. So that's really, really good. And Beyond is at 80% kill participation. They don't get a lot of kills, which is what I've noticed. Most of the kills end up going over to Diokdam. I don't know how you pronounce Diokdam. I'm going to try my best. And he's not that solid either. He's all right. I like him too. I'm not going to mind him if I am playing Dynamics. Obviously, playing those 3 together wouldn't be a bad idea. But I'm kind of just preferring Beyond and Kuzan in that mid lane. So that's kind of where I'm looking at. Like I said, I really like the fact that they have a lot of kill participation. Eventually, those can turn into kills, you know. They're not getting the kills now. They're getting a ton of assists. They're like crazy amount of assists. They're just not getting the kills, which I think could eventually turn around. And this game could be one where that happens. So I do like that. Their jungle control for both of these teams is kind of even. So that's kind of going to be a toss-up. But that's who I like. If I am playing anyone on SP, it will be Mickey and Hybrid. Both of them die a lot, but they do get a lot of kills. So they're really volatile. They can either have a really good game or a game where they get punished. And then going over to the next LCK game, we got KT versus HLE in the last game of the slate. Kind of going to stay away from this. If I am playing anyone, it's just going to be their AD carries and their supports. Aiming or Viper, I like them both. Both teams play exactly the same. They try to get their AD carries to scale, and then they just kind of take advantage from there towards the end of the game. I don't expect this game to be crazy in kills, but who knows? The LCK has been absurd lately. They've been getting a ton of kills. KT's not good at controlling the jungle, so I look for a place for the jungler to take advantage. but we don't know who's going to jungle for HLE. They've been swapping. That's what worries me. The mid laners, the junglers, and the top laners have been swapped around so many times that I just don't know who to play. But I like Lee Hens. I like pairing him up with Viper, and there's a team stack. There's a nice little 3-man stack right there. Lee Hens, Viper, and the team stack. And then you got, for the same thing, I would like the same thing for like KT if I am playing them, Aiming, Tucson, and the team stack. So that's kind of what I like from them too. I'm not really looking too much into them though. Like I said, I'm not a huge fan of either one, but if you do want to be really different, I don't think people will play them, so I don't mind them. But those are the players I would be looking at. That both of these AD carries are top 3 in damage per game in the entire LCK. They're like 35% plus, so they're heavily involved in the damage and the winning for these teams. And then you got your mid laners. Don't really like them, but that's really it. All I really want to talk about that game. I am picking HLE to win. And then we're going to go over to OMG and LNG, which is the close game. In my opinion, the closest game on the slate. I think this game could go 2-1, so if you're not one of those guys that likes to play that, I don't recommend it. But it can be a high-scoring game as well. OMG actually is second most deaths in the LPL, so they do die a lot. They do get a lot of kills as well, though. They have 3 more games played than LNG, so the stats are kind of skewed as far as like which team has more deaths and kills. Just kind of depends. But in this matchup, if I'm looking at players to stack, if I'm playing a carry from OMG, I'm going to focus around Icon and Hacker, and then the support. Cold has been really solid. This split has had some really big games as far as assists. Had 3 matches over 20 assists, which is really good. I mean, the other 2 he kind of slacked in, but those 3 matches, if he could pull something like that out, he should have a solid scoreline for sure. And like I mentioned earlier, LNG's been beating the teams they were supposed to lose to and losing to the teams they're supposed to beat. Seems like they're supposed to beat OMG, so I'm just going to assume they're going to lose. And I like the way OMG's been playing lately. Against really good competition, they've been playing really, really, really solid. And Light for LNG is the guy I would focus around if I am playing LNG. He has 80% kill participation for the team. And then the reason I like OMG, and I like Icon already, and Maple and XX lead the team in deaths. They lead their team in deaths by a lot. So I feel like that's somewhere where OMG is good with Hacker and Icon. So I feel like they can punish them and get ahead of the game. So that's the reason I like them. I prefer Icon over SMLZ. But, I mean, I don't mind them either. And that's really it. Curse is solid at the top lane as well. But that's really all I'm looking at with them. Icon and Cold, and then the team stack, and then kind of Hacker as well. Then the last game, I mean, the game I'm going to be mainly focusing around, obviously, is you got TES, the best team in the split. I would recommend all the players, and you can play them anyway. They have the second highest KDA in the LPL, while BLG is the second lowest, so I expect them to die a lot. Unless they slow the game down and just play really safe, they'll probably still die a lot just because TES is that aggressive. Karsa is one of the best junglers in the world, so I do like pairing. This is kind of like something I'm looking at. Knight and Jackie Love, just like that. And if I pair him with all the underdog teams that I noticed, I'm actually able to fit really, really good lineups where I'm able to put an AD carry or a mid laner in the captain spot. So that's why I really like it. The odds are so close in the other matches that I'm willing to take my shots today. Like I said, I have a gut feeling. Might not get them all right, but I'm going to aim to at least one of them hit. And hopefully that's the winning lineup right there. But yeah, thanks for watching. This is kind of where I'm at. Like I said, Dynamics, OMG, Top Esports, and HLE is the way I'm looking. But those other 3 games I feel can go anyway. But yeah, thanks for watching. I really do appreciate it. Like, comment, subscribe. Yeah, thanks for watching.